Hey there, thanks for checking in. Um, this video is all about uh, some ideas for just helping your child to um, participate in some of these daily routines a little bit more actively, so that when you're ready to do toilet training, you already have some of these strategies that you're familiar with and that are have almost become second nature, maybe. Okay, so when we are doing routines, really for any sorts of self-help skills. So this could be getting dressed. This could be washing your hands. This could be feeding yourself, and obviously toilet training. So, what we want to do as our kids are getting to that age where they're ready for toilet training is we really want to promote that independence in all different sorts of routines throughout the day. We definitely want to encourage them to think of themselves as big kids, big boys, big girls. And one of the ways we can do that is really promoting that independence. So there are a couple of steps in that. The first step is when they don't know the routine at all and they're going to need full assistance. So, um, to use the example of washing hands, we might be basically working them through it. It's helpful if we're also using that language so they're hearing the language as we do it. We can use some simple directions to tell them what to do, or again, just narrate what we're doing. So it might be something like, oh, we turn on the water, get our hands wet, and rub, 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 push, push the soap, rub, 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 rub. Oh, we might sing a song like, oh, what is it? Like backs and middles in between. So you can sing a song if that helps. But, and then, oh, we need to rinse it off and turn off the water and dry our hands on the towel. So, again, we're kind of helping them through that routine. We might be doing some hand over hand to help them participate. We're narrating or giving directions so that they're associating that language with the actions they're taking. Once they have done this routine umpteen times, right? Many times they kind of start to know what's next. And so at this point, we might just kind of give them the direction. Oh, okay, now get some soap and rub together. Or maybe we sing the song. So we're kind of giving them some of that support, but they don't need full hand over hand support to do that. And then eventually, they are actually participating in most of the steps. They're doing some or most of the routine on their own, and we're letting them have more independence. They may be making more of a mess, but they're actually then getting that satisfaction of doing the task themselves. And at this point, we may only need reminders or prompts, right? So if you have a kid who gets stuck on, oh my gosh, now I'm just playing in the water and I'm good with that, then we might say, oh, let's see, we're all done with water. What do we do next? If they don't turn it off, or then you can give the direction, oh, turn off the water, please. If they don't do it, here, I'll turn it off, and now we can dry our hands. So again, we're still kind of giving assistance as needed, but we're letting them do as many of the steps as they can do because we want them to feel good about doing that. Some things that you can be working on. Again, this is even before you buy a potty chair or are actively working on potty training. You can definitely be helping your kids with dressing and undressing. by doing that, you're also working on one of the steps, right? So when we use the bathroom, we're pushing pants down, we're pulling pants up, or we're lifting skirts, or whatever it might be. But we're doing some of those dressing and undressing steps. And so the more we're promoting that, even before we're working on potty training, we're setting them up for success. So there's at least some steps in the routine that they already know and they're already comfortable with. They can be dressing up their stuffed animals or their dolls and pulling things over. That's a fun way to incorporate that in playtime. And then also, I know in my house when my kids were little, weekday mornings were the worst, right? Because we were all in a rush to get out the door or trying to take them to daycare or preschool or wherever we're taking the kids. There's just all this stress in the morning, right? So if you have a household like that, then don't worry about working so much on getting dressed um, on a weekday morning. Maybe you're working on getting dressed in favorite PJs before it's time for bed, or putting on shoes or getting on jackets before we go outside on the weekends. So again, think about times that are less stressful for you, because the less stressed you are, the more supportive you can be of your child doing the steps. We can also work on undressing right before those preferred activities. So if your child loves bath time, then helping them with taking off clothes before baths is another way to work on that. Or again, if you start to incorporate a routine of every time we come in the house, we're going to take off our shoes, take off our socks, and maybe put them in a cubby or something, put them on the bench, wherever it might be. Just establishing those routines. And if it's something that's happening daily or pretty often, kids have lots of time to repeat, to participate, and to practice and get good at those routines. Some other motor skills that we can be working on that will help with toileting and potty routines. We can have them opening and closing different types of containers. I like doing that with the diaper wipe containers. It's a small thing of like popping it open and pulling out a wipe, but that's another way that your child can be participating, even in the diaper routine, before you're actively working on potty training. So whatever we can do to have them be involved and be participating. This one's going to sound a little weird, but a little later in the process, when you're working on wiping, it's especially important for girls to wipe from front to back. So one of the things that's hard with some motor planning skills is if you can't see what you're doing, that's it's a little harder, right? So one thing I will do with kids is we go ready, set, hike, and we play hike games where we're hiking footballs or hiking Easter eggs or hiking other sorts of balls or toys, but we're doing it underneath. And that's a way to kind of build that muscle memory of, oh, this is what it feels like to go from back or from front to back like this. Even though I can't see what I'm doing, I'm working on kind of building that muscle memory. So those are some things you can do, again, even before we've got a potty chair. The other thing I like to work on as we're building up to it is just that cooperation during routines. Potty training can be especially challenging when your kids don't want to be helpers and when they don't want to participate in routines. We all have days like that, but we want to try to build up that participation overall so that they feel good about participating. One way to do that is working on first then activities. So that is a great way to just kind of just improve that participation. Um, we're going to build that system of when I listen to mom or dad, or when I do what the babysitter asks, then I also get to do things that I like too. A little bit of that give and take here, right? Um, a lot of times I will start with the simplest activity that they can do, then we can work up to harder or longer tasks. So, using first, then, we might say something like, first, bring me the teapot, and then we can have our tea party. So, there's something they like to do, ask them to bring the toy over so that you can participate in that. Um, if you've got a kid who loves playing with dinosaurs, but all the cars are out, maybe first we park the cars and then we can play with the dinosaurs. So, first, and even changing the wording, so saying, first we're parking the cars, park in the garage. Um, can make some kids a little bit more motivated than if we're saying, first we put away the cars. So, or first all the dinosaurs are stomping over to say good night, and we put them away and they're all saying good night. And now we can go play with the cars. So, talking about things, making it playful can improve that participation also. We can also give two acceptable choices of how they can maybe help during cleanup. So, uh, let's see. Do you want to put the books away, or do you want to help all the stuffed animals go to bed? So, we're giving them some choices. It also really helps for us to um, kind of get them started, right? So I'm going to put away the blocks. Oh, yeah. Which one do you want to put in? So, do you want to put red ones in? Do you want to put the big cars over there? So, again, giving them choices, asking what they want to do rather than just saying, just clean up. The more we're giving kids choices, um, and and then if they are not participating, often I will have a kind of last ditch sort of direction I'm going to give them where they're just doing something little. So maybe I have done quite a bit of the picking up, but then I bring over the canister for the blocks and just tell them, here's this block, you put in the last block. And I am moving that canister around to really support and help them. So I may be doing a lot of the work to get that block into the canister, but then once they've done even that little bit, thank you so much. You helped. We did it together. We cleaned up the blocks. And so we're building opportunities when we can encourage them and let them know that they're doing a great job of participating. An example with potty training, I have some kids who really don't even like to sit on the potty, right? Whether they're scared, whether, um, you know, they've been in places where there's automatic flushing, it's loud, whatever the reason is that they don't want to sit on the toilet or on the potty. If they love bath time, then that can become part of the bath routine of, here, you sit on the potty while I turn on the water. And that can even be with the lid closed, but just to get them used to sitting on the potty. And then after a while, we're like, oh, okay. Oh, we need to start getting undressed. Here, let's take the pants off, sit on the potty, and I'm going to put in some bubbles. So, again, kind of giving them a reason to participate, helping them to maybe get over some fears or discomfort with sitting on the potty by incorporating it into a routine that they really like. Okay, well, those are my thoughts on some of that cooperation. Um, even before we are working directly on potty training. And thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Thanks so much for dropping by. Have a great day.